These are some frequently asked questions regarding Article 14 of the California Constitution. How many sections does Article 14 have? This article contains 5 sections. What does Article 14 relate to? It relates to labor relations. Is the minimum wage provided by the legislature? Section 1 of Article 14 states that the legislature may provide for minimum wages and for the general welfare of employees, and for those purposes may confer on a commission legislative, executive, and judicial powers. Is a maximum number of hours worked specified? Section 2 of Article 14 provides that work time of mechanics or workers on public works may not exceed 8 hours a day, except in wartime or extraordinary emergencies that endanger life or property, and that the legislature provides for enforcement of this section. Is a property lien authorized? Section 3 specifies that mechanics, persons furnishing materials, artisans, and laborers of every class have a lien upon the property upon which they have bestowed labor or furnished material for the value of the labor done and the materials furnished. And furthermore, that the legislature provides by law for the speedy and efficient enforcement of these property liens. Is a system of workers' compensation authorized? Section 4 establishes that the legislature is expressly vested with plenary power, unlimited by any provision of this Constitution, to create and enforce a complete system of workers' compensation. And it's done so by appropriate legislation. They also have the power to create and enforce a liability on the part of any persons to compensate any workers for injury or disability. What must be included in the workers' compensation system? Section 4 states that a complete system of workers' compensation includes adequate provisions for the comfort, health, and safety and general welfare of any and all workers and those dependent upon them for support, to the extent of relieving them from the consequences of any injury or death incurred or sustained by workers in the course of their employment. How are workers' compensation claims handled? Section 4 vests the legislature with plenary powers to provide for the settlement of any disputes arising under this legislation by arbitration or by an industrial accident commission, by the courts, or by any other means, either separately or in combination. The legislature may fix and control the method and manner of trial of any of these disputes, the rules of evidence, and the manner of review of decisions rendered by the tribunal designated. All decisions of any such tribunal are subject to review by the appellate courts of the state. Are inmate labor contracts authorized? Section 5 states that the Director of Corrections or any county sheriff or other local government official who's charged with jail operations may enter into a contract with a public entity, a nonprofit, or a for profit organization or entity or business for the purpose of conducting programs which use inmate labor. And finally, is there a limitation on inmate labor contracts? Section 5 also specifies that no contract can be executed with an employer that will initiate employment by inmates in the same job classification as a non inmate employee of the same employer who are on strike or who have been subject to a lockout by the employer.